Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to give you a quick overview on how to start an instance in AWS Cloud Services. So as you can see, I'm already logged into my AWS account. So we want to open up the EC2 service. From there, on the left hand side under instances, we can click on the instances option. Then we can, as you can see, I don't have any instances or VMs running. A lot of people call them VMs, but in reality, the correct term is an instance. But so let's go ahead and start one. We're gonna give it a name. I'm gonna name this just like the example says. I'm gonna give it a name of my web server. So for this demo, I'm gonna use the Amazon Linux AWS free tier OS, which is an Amazon machine image and AMI. So these are images that are already preset for you when you create an account. There's other ways of creating your own images or searching for images, but for this review, we'll stick with this one. And again, for this demo, I'm going to be using a free tier eligible image, which is the Amazon Linux 2023 kernel-6.1 AMI. And for the description, that tells you basically what it is. And architecture, we're going to be using a 64-bit architecture. The default user is going to be the EC2-user. Remember this because this is the account name you're going to use when you SSH into the instance. The instance type, so these are basically the different tiers of instances that you can use to create a system. Again, for this video, we're going to stick with a free tier eligible. But there's other type of instances that you can use, and depending on what you choose, it will vary on the CPU, the virtual CPUs you get, how much memory you get, the network bandwidth, and all those other options. But again, for this demo and to keep it free, we're going to use a T3.micro, which is again a free tier eligible option. Key pairing. So the key pairing, basically, you want to create a key in order to SSH to this instance. I already have a key created, but again, if you're new and you're just doing this for the first time, you will click on create new key pair. You will give it a name, my key. You want to select RSA, and then for systems like a Linux OS, Mac, or a Windows 10 and above, you want to use .pem. Anything before Windows 10, you want to choose .ppk. So for now, again, you'll do RSA.pem and you give it a name. Once you click on create key pair, you'll create that key and you'll see it available in this drop-down menu. So again, I already have mine, so I'm choosing the AWS Tech and Penguin key that I created. You also get the option to download it. So go ahead and download that key and copy it to the system that you are going to be using to SSH to the instance that we're about to create. Again, it could be Linux, it could be a Windows, or it could be Mac. So we'll get to that in a minute. Once we create the instance, I'll show you how to actually use that key. For network settings, for now we're gonna leave everything in here as default. We are gonna create a security group. We want to allow SSH traffic, and we also, for now, we're gonna do HTTP traffic from the internet as well. And I'll show you in a moment why. Security groups are basically firewall rules that you create outside the instance. So it's not like Firewall D if you're running a Red Hat system, or IP tables. It's not an OS-based firewall. It's outside the instance. But again, it's basically a firewall that you create to allow inbound traffic or outbound traffic. So we're setting up SSH. We're allowing SSH traffic, and we're going to allow HTTP. The storage, we'll leave this as default. Again, we're just using free tier, so we don't want to change anything. Then we want to go to the advanced details because I want to show you there's some options. We're going to leave all these as default for now. It's beyond the scope of just doing this demonstration. But I do want to show you this option right here for the user data optional. So these in here you have the option to create a bash script that's basically a bootstrap that it will be executed upon the first time of starting up the VM or the instance. It will only be executed one time, once it's executed for the first time, and then if you stop the instance or you restart the instance, it will not be executed again. So for this example, what I want to do, I'm gonna set up a very simple web server. So when I want to copy and paste. What I want to do is I'm going to create a bash script. I'm telling it to update the system, install HTTPD, enable HTTPD, start the service, and then I'm creating a very simple index.html file in var www html. So we'll do that. So that's, again, this is just going to run one time and one time only. Then we'll click on launch instance. So we can see it's starting to create the instance. This is very quick. This is like one of the main benefits of using cloud services. You can start up a VM in no time. So it's initializing, but as you can see, we see the name we gave it. Every instance gets a specific ID number. You can see a public IP address that was already assigned to it. All these options can be predefined. You can create your own, your own IPs, your own DNS server, and all that. But like again, for now, we're just all reviewing how to start up a new instance. If we click on this box, we can see more information about the instance itself. Again, we can see the private IP, the public IP that was given to it. Do keep in mind, if you stop the instance and restart it, more than likely the public IP address will be different. So just remember that. Also, if we click on the security tab, we see the security group that was applied to it. We can see the security group that we created, and we're allowing connections through port 22 and through port 80, which is SSH and HTTPD. So we created this when we started to define the instance state. So if we go back, let's refresh. So this is going to take about a minute or so. So for now, we're going to wait a little bit and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so the instance, as you can see, the status check, everything checked, everything passed, so we're good. Again, so we go back to details. Under details, so we set this up as a web server. We created a very basic web page. So let's make sure that works. Let's go ahead and copy this IP address. So I should be able to access it from anywhere. So let's make sure that works. And there we go. So you can see this is what we wrote or what we added to that index.html file. Hello world, follow me at Tech and Penguin on YouTube. So now let me show you something. So if we go back to security, actually before I do that, well actually sure, why not? So again, this is the security group, the rules that we set. So let's go ahead and show you, let me disable or remove port 80. So let's go back over here. So we click on this guy, we edit that rule. So these are the rules that we added when we created the instance. So if I go and delete it, save the rule. Now if I go back over here and refresh, you're just going to see that it's eventually it's going to time out. It's not going to work. So that's one way we can justify, not justify. We can show how those security rules work, and tell that yes, okay, that's actually working. So it's still just trying to get to it, but it's not going to. It's not going to find that. It's there we go. Port 80, it's not open anymore. So if I come back over here, edit the rules, add a new rule, custom. So we look for HTTP. Where is it? HTTP. Port 80, and then again we want to do anywhere from any IP. Save it. So that added that rule again. We come back over here. If we refresh, we can get back into it. So that's great. So that's we just show that inbound rules do work, and we can show how they work by adding and removing a port. So let me show you also how to SSH to these guys. So let me go back to the instance. And I'm going to copy this IP address again. And let me open up my terminal. So this is I'm in my Linux terminal. So let's see, Red Hat. So I'm using Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. I'm logged in with my Tech Penguin account in the AWS directory that I created. in here, I copy that key that I created, the AWS-techpenguin.pem. So you would do the same. Once you create a key, copy it to a directory that you're going to be using or anywhere, because you can also just give it the full path. So for this example, I'm just going to run it from where the file is located just to make it a lot easier. You do want to change the permissions. So for this guy, I had to change mode to 0400. So you just want read access, because if you have read and write or read write execute at any level within the file itself, you'll get a security error and you won't be able to SSH to it. So how do we SSH into it? So we use SSH, that's I, which is for input, and we want to give it the key file name. And then the user, remember I said we want to use the EC2 user account at, and then the IP address. So this should, allow us to get in, and there we go. So I'm logged into that particular instance that I just created, and from here I can do, create files or do anything that you will do from, from any other system itself. So we just went through how to create an instance. We showed how Bootstrap works with, creating a basic bash script to run updates, install a package for HTTPD, and configure a simple index.html file for a web page. Then we went through how inbound rules, security rules work for, allowing or denying port access. So in this case, we show port 80. And then I showed you how to SSH into a system. So there's also another way you can actually connect to a system, and that's through this guy right here, connect. So if you don't want to go through, using SSH from a Linux terminal or from your Windows machine, if you're already logged into, to your Amazon console account, you can click connect. Use the connect using public IP. It has all the information you need. You don't need to provide anything else, not even the key or anything or the username, and you're able to connect to it directly from here. So again, this is another way of connecting. You select the instance type, make sure you have a check on it. You select connect, because again, if you have multiple instances, you'll see them in here. So you want to make sure you have a check on the one you want to manipulate, that you want to work with, the data you want to see, the information, or the one you want to connect to. So again, you click connect, and then it connects you right away to it. What else? If you want to create additional security groups, those are under the network security options. So you go to security groups, you'll see pre-existing ones. This is the one that I just created again for this instance. So we look at it, yep, we'll see HTTP and SSH. Again, from here, you can actually create a new group. You will give it a name, a short description. You can assign it to a VPC. Again, that's out of the scope of this video. On later on videos, I'll show you how to create VPCs. Then you create your rules. And again, there's multiple for traffic, multiple ports, multiple services that you can allow or and then attach to an instance. Any particular instance can have one or multiple security groups assigned to it. You can also use the same security group on multiple instances. Let's see what else I wanted to talk to you about. So when you set up an instance, there's multiple ways of purchasing. Purchasing options within Amazon. So you have the on-demand instances, which is this example right here. Is for short workloads, predictable pricing is the most expensive option of running an instance when you do it on demand. Again, for this video, I'm running a free tier, so it's free. But if you were to deploy an actual, VM instance with Red Hat and running applications, if you run it this way, it's going to cost you the most money. You can also do an option reserved, so you can reserve an instance for 1 year or 3 years. Those options are good for for long workloads, with flexible instances. There's also savings plans for 1 year and 3 years. So basically, you commit to pay for one full year. So that gives you savings. I think it's 72% savings. There's also on-the-spot instances. Those are really cheap, but again, those are used for short workloads. They're cheap, but you can lose the instance in case if someone else comes in and pays a little bit more for that space, then Amazon will kick you out. There's dedicated hosts, so if you want to pay for an entire physical server, you can also do that. That will cost you a little bit more money as well. I think those are the only options that I can think of right now. How to purchase an instance within Amazon. So again, I hope this was helpful. So again, a quick review. What we did is we created an instance. We created a security group. I showed you how to create a key, how to SSH to the instance using that key. I showed you how to run a script from the beginning when you first start up a new instance. Okay. So also, once you're done with the instance, if you want to stop the instance or terminate it, you go to instance state, so you can reboot it, you can stop the instance, you can terminate the instance. So we're not just going to stop the instance. I'm gonna allow it to shut down the OS as well. So again, this takes a few minutes. You can see the instance state says stopping, but within a few minutes you'll see that it will be done stopping the instance, and then you can also come back over here and just terminate it, which it completely deletes it. There's ways to keep the data when you delete an instance, but again, that's outside the scope of this video of what I wanted to show you. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.